Hi everyone, this is Renee from Meadowlark Mystic, and I am doing a video on the After Tarot. This is, it's not a Rider-Waite-Smith clone per se, straight up, because it's kind of, as the name indicates, After Tarot. So it's after the first scene. So, usually the Two of Cups is the two people and they're holding the cups, with the intention, like you don't know what they're going to do. Next, I'm looking through my Rider-Waite-Smith to use as an example. I should have done this before. Anyway, okay, so I'm not going to do this the entire time, but this is a good example of these two cards. So in the Rider-Waite-Smith, she has the falcon on her hand, and she's kind of, you can't really tell, her expression is somewhat enigmatic, I would say. Like, you're not really sure what she's thinking. And then in this card, the falcon has flown away, and she kind of has a smile on her face. And she's looking at her grapes. She's kind of happy. So what I'm doing, or what I wanted to do in this video, was I wanted to look at some of the cards in the After Tarot that I think the artist made more positive than are in the Rider-Waite-Smith, and that is this pile. And then the cards that the artist in the After Tarot made slightly more, if not negative, then maybe just kind of a little menacing. And this video is really only going to be useful if you're very familiar with the Rider-Waite imagery already, so that you can see the difference, like in your mind, because I'm not going to be holding up the original. So the reason I did this, or this came to my mind, was because I was thinking, wow, the After Tarot is kind of somber. Like, it's kind of, it's I don't want to say sad, but it was just kind of a more serious deck. And so then I decided to test the theory and look at the cards that are a little more negative. And actually, turns out that I was wrong. So this is the pile of cards. This one in my left hand is the pile of cards that are more positive than the Rider-Waite-Smith. And these are the cards that are a little more negative. My left hand is more positive and my right hand is a little more negative. So, they're about the same. And then all the other cards that are not going to be part of this video, they're just neutral. They're just very similar. Okay, so let's go through the cards that are a little more negative. And this is my opinion. So just the fact that the angel has this giant sword makes this card to me a little more serious, a little more negative. I look at the Lovers as a card of choice, but with this giant sword of, I guess, truth or righteousness, it's even more serious. This is pretty self-explanatory in terms of why I think this card is a little more negative. He's completely oblivious, but he's hanging onto the cliff, smelling the rose. This one was interesting. And if you're familiar with the Ten of Pentacles, it's like the family is all around, but the family has left, and there's this giant case of money. The reason I feel that it's a little more negative is, first of all, the family's not there. It's just the child who I guess is going to inherit all this. There's a little bit of like sadness to the card because it's not so much about celebration, and the child is alone. I felt that this one was more negative because it's definitely, instead of a card of choice, kind of more general choice, it's like these two people are fighting. Now, they could represent thought forms as well, but I just thought it was a more negative card with these two about to actually battle. This is a fairly negative card in and of itself in the Rider-Waite-Smith, but there's a little person who's like calling for help, and this person is so wrapped up in their own sadness they don't see. This Devil card is definitely more negative. You've got these kind of ghouls and monsters in the back, and then these two people are totally oblivious to their surroundings, and I guess I would assume that this flame has already done its work. So that's definitely a more negative card. This Page of Wands is particularly sad, which I found a little perplexing. I like the fact that this deck is different than the Rider-Waite-Smith, but the Page of Wands to me is about the pursuit or the first spark of, interest and the idea like, okay, I've got to go after my vision. And obviously this person is doing that, but this person looks so sad and they're leaving them. So I would say that card is a little more negative. This card, even though I find it really funny, is also a more negative interpretation. Like they're walking into kind of a trap. This card is more negative because the animals are really like not liking this individual. And if you think of yourself as walking, this path of intuition and having to navigate, instinct versus, society, or there's lots of different interpretations. It's a little more chilling, I guess, with the animals. So this Seven of Wands, he's just like really in it. And this guy looks a little surprised, like, whoa, isn't he overreacting a little bit? So I would say that's a more negative card. I love the Eight of Cups. And this card focuses on this person's reaction to this person leaving. And it's just more sad. It's like more of a card of loss rather than a card of going somewhere. This guy's triumph, is more complete. Like in the Rider-Waite-Smith, he has kind of a little smirk, and here he's just full on happy he won and he's got his hands raised. So that's a tiny bit more negative. This card is more negative simply because, actually, now that I think about it, he could have already given them money. When I first saw it, I thought, okay, he gets the money, but they don't. But then maybe they already got their money. So actually, this would go over there. The Knight of Swords, this would kind of be the, like when that kind of action and movement and almost a crusade, because, this guy looks like he's a crusader, it has its fulfillment in, fighting and maybe even killing. So it's kind of a negative card. This Four of Pentacles is definitely negative. No need to talk about that. This one, it's clear that this person is not just resting. Something has died. And then this one, he's made his choice, and definitely not the best choice. So those are the more negative cards for the After Tarot. And then these are the more positive ones in comparison to the Rider-Waite-Smith. So as I spoke about her, she's looking at her grapes, and the bird is free. And so that all seems like a good thing. Here, he's giving this victory laurel to another person. So that definitely seems more positive. This one seems more positive in that these people have come to take care of this ending. And I think that has a better feeling to it. I like this because, he's got his hand on her elbow and they're sharing their vision of the world. This one, I like that they included an older person and they're facing us. This Hanged Man, obviously, she's giving some support to whatever sacrifice or pilgrimage he's on. The children are running to this older person, so that feels more positive. This feels more positive just in, they're embracing, and the cat is definitely... This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. It is the Nine of Swords, and this person has decided to fight their demons. I really like that. I love the expression of the lion. That's definitely more positive. As some of you may know, one of my least favorite cards in the Rider-Waite-Smith is the heart being pierced, and so I really appreciate this card. The reason I like this card, or think it's more positive, is now he's kind of deciding what he's going to do. Like, he's dropped them all, and now he's deciding like which ones or where to go from here. I think that's more positive. His expression is just more positive, and he's harvested something. So I like that. This gnome is just so cute for the Page of Pentacles, and that he's kind of offering it to him. I think that's a more positive interpretation. Oops, this one actually should have gone in the more negative ones. Anyway, I love the Page of Cups. I think it's a really important card, but the fish has jumped out of the cup. So that would go in more the negative pile. But anyway, this one just seems more positive. Like everyone is either decided, hey, maybe we could talk about it besides, fighting about it. And then this one, someone has come to, to free her, or she is freeing herself with this thought form from whatever was kind of hemming her in. So those are just some more negative cards and more positive cards in the After Tarot. At first I thought there were more negative cards than positive cards, but it turned out I was wrong. The artist really kept it quite even with his reinterpretations of these cards. Why do I always have this trouble? And I really do enjoy this deck quite a bit. So that's the After Tarot. And the artwork by Giulia Massaglia. I really enjoy this deck. I appreciate this artist's interpretations, and it was fun going through the different cards. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.